Good morning, students, and welcome to your math lesson. And today we are going to be learning about making tens and the making tens strategy. Yesterday you learned about your doubles and your doubles facts, and you can always go ahead and practice your doubles facts. So remember, you end at 20, so you have your doubles facts down like that, like a snap, and then you will be able to use those to make your near doubles. And today we're going to be learning about making tens, the making tens strategy. So let's read the I can statement. It's up here and it's also in your book on page 13. So you're going to need your workbook, you're going to need a pencil, and you are going to need some counters. And you can find the counters in your bag. Let's read the I can statement. You can follow along in your book. It's at the top. I can, or you can look up here. Ready? I can make a 10 to help me add quickly and accurately. Now remember, we learned that all strategies help you learn to add quicker and more accurately. Strategies will work every time. Okay, and we develop and build a whole bank of strategies to use because different strategies apply better at other times for different equations. So we've already learned the counting up strategy. We have learned the doubles fact strategy. And today we are learning about the making tens strategy. Not sure if I have a word card for that yet. Around here somewhere. Here it is, making 10 strategy. It's also known as make 10 strategy. Okay, so let us move on to the solve and share. And you are going to open your workbook to page 13. And you have something here called a 10 frame. And I have the 10 frames up here as well. And you are going to use some counters. And they're asking you, how can thinking about 10 help you find 9 plus 3? Use the 10 frames and counters to show how. Let's take about 3-4 minutes, 3-4-5 minutes to get your materials ready and to get out your counters. Okay, and you can pause the video here to do your solve and share, and I will naturally pause it in the classroom for us. Okay, welcome back, and we are going to look at the solve and share, and the solve and share asks us how we can solve 9, how we can use 9 plus 3. Okay, so here we have 9, and here we have 3. And when you're using your 10 frame, you are going to move some of the counters to make a 10, just like the strategy is telling you to do. Okay, and there's one missing here, and you will take 1, and you will move it there, and then you will have made a 10. And now you have 10 plus 2 instead of 9 plus 3. And when you have 10 plus 2, you get 12. And the reason why it's easier is because of the zero, something called the zero property, the zero addition property. When there is a 0 in the ones, you can use the zero property of addition. It's also known as the additive property. And that is that anything you add to 0 will always be the same value in the ones of what you are adding to it. So if there is a 0 in the ones and you're adding an amount of ones, it's always going to be the amount you're adding to it. So for instance, if we have, can we see up here if I write? 0 plus 1, it'll always be 1. Because 0 is a placeholder, and it means that there's no value. Okay, and the same will go for 0 plus 2, and that will equal 2. And 0 is a placeholder, and there's no value. But if you add 2 to it, it will equal 2. It'll be the value of the number you're adding to it. So now we have 0 plus 3, and that will equal 3. 0 plus 4, and that will equal 4. 0 plus 5, and that will equal 5. 0 plus 6, and that will equal 6. And it keeps going. 0 plus 7 equals 7. 0 plus 8 equals 8. And 0 plus 9 equals 9. And then it goes into the double digits as well, into the tens. So anything that you add to 0 when 0 is in the ones place value will always have the same value as that ones place value. And that's what brings us to the 10 frame. We are using the 0 property of addition. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the visual learning bridge. And she explains just what I explained. When you have 8 plus 5, and we have 5 plus 3 equals 8. And I know this because I know that this is half a 10, and half a 10 is 5. And 5 plus 3 equals 8. So this side is 8. And we are adding 3. 1, 2, 3. I can go ahead. 8 plus 3 does not come to me that quickly. But if I take 2 counters and move it over here and make a 10, now I don't have 8 plus 3. But I still have the same value of counters. Now I have 10 plus 1. And I can add 10 plus 1 a lot quicker than I can add 8 plus 3. So I have 11. Okay? So when you make your 10, you are speeding up the addition process. And you can visualize your 10 frame, know your facts to 10, and this will help you. Okay, so let's move on to the guided practice. Number 1, 7 plus 4. Make a 10 to add, use counters and 10 frame. And a 10 frame. So I recommend that you use this 10 frame, and if you wrote in it with your pencil, that's okay, you can erase it, but use counters for this. So you have these 2 10 frames to go ahead and use for the whole lesson, because 10 frames was one thing that I did not put in your bag. Okay, so 7 plus 4. So we have 7, so 7 is 5 plus 2, and then on this side we'll have 4. So now we are going to change this to make it easier to add by making it a 10. All right, so we have 7 on this side, and we're plussing 4. And now we're going to take 3 and move it over here, and now we have 10 plus 1. So 10 plus 1 equals 11, and that's a lot easier to add than 7 plus 4. And 7 plus 4 is also 11 because we have the same value of counters. We didn't add any more or take any away. We have the same value of counters. We just move them around to make a 10, to make it easier and quicker to add. Okay, and so now you are working on independent practice on page 15 and page 16. And when you get to the assessment practice and you finish the assessment practice, please take a picture and upload it into this, this lesson in Seesaw. Okay, thank you, and have fun making your tents.